Hello, everyone. Okay, so you guys doing pretty good on the midterm. It's truly not bad. I did make a few mistakes and you guys pointing out, which is great. I correct this and you should get your point back. If not, email me again and I will correct it. Okay. So we probably gonna do the same thing for the final, but the questions probably will be more that covers more chapters and more questions. So today we're gonna go ahead and doing chapter 5. If you guys can, and I'm sharing my screen here, go to Codiva. So we're gonna start some of the content. So what I want you to do is that I did posting some of the videos that going through the PowerPoint, and also there's some walkthrough on the exercise questions. So what I'm going to do here is I will pointing out some of the key points for the chapter. So if you opened up the Codiva, you don't have to kind of follow me here because I'm recording it and you can watch this again. All right. So if you cannot type in as fast as I can, that's okay. We're going to do add. And what I'm doing here is, and I'm going to add, this is in chapter 5. And so I'm going to do this, what I call the infinite loop, right? Okay, so, and I'm gonna create this one, infinite loop. Now, again, here at the beginning, we're gonna do public, right? So public class finite loop, okay? So what we try to do here is we are trying to say we want to loop 4 times. We want to print things like 1 to 10, okay, or 1 to 5. So what we do, what we learned so far is we're using the for loop, right? So we'll say for int I starting from, and normally we're starting from 0, right? And then we'll say I is less than 5 if we want to loop 5 times. And we'll say I plus plus and curly braces, hit enter, right? And so we'll just do a simple print. We'll do print out, print 9. And let's just say we'll print the I plus 1 because we start from 0. Oops, the semicolon is outside, right? And so if we run, and you can see that it will print out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 nines, right? So we know we're gonna want to print 5 times. That's cool. And for chapter 5, so we can use while loop to do the same thing. All right. So this is the first thing we learned is we can use the for loop if we want to loop 5 times, and we can use while loop. So now you have another tool if you want to use it. Okay. So how the while loop works is that we need to have an initialization. So let's just say we'll have initially, and we'll loop over j. All right. We'll say j equals 0. So this is just like here I, okay? So we'll call this J. We can use I too, but we'll just call this J. So this is, again, to initialize. So this is the initialization of the count, right? Okay, and then we'll do the while loop. So while is a keyword, right? And then we're using the parentheses, and we'll say while j is less than 5. So just same as I less than 5, right? So this is our testing, okay? And then we go inside the while loop. So initially j equals 0. So we go into testing. Is a 0 less than 5? Yes, right? So therefore it goes inside the loop, okay? And so we'll do the same like printing again. And we'll say instead of I plus 0, we have a j plus 0, okay? So we're doing the same thing. But what about how we're going to change? So the last thing here, we need to make sure that we need to change the counter. So we'll say j plus plus here, okay? So what this is doing is initially j equals 0, and then we're testing to see, so this is like a test. So this is a test condition, right? So we'll say, hey, is a 0 less than 5? And indeed. And so we go inside the loop. So this is the beginning of the loop, and this is the end of the loop, right? This is the beginning of the loop, curly braces, this is the end of the loop. This one, curly braces, is the end of the loop. And then so we'll print the j, which is a 0 plus 1. So we actually will print 1 out. And then we increase the j from 0 to 1. And then we go back to this loop, and we'll say, is 1 less than 5? Still, 1 is less than 5. Then we go inside this loop again. Now, j is 1. So then it will print out 1 plus 1, which is a 2. And then we increase the 1 to 2. So j plus plus, change j from 1 to 2. And then we go, and then we reach the end of the loop, and we go back to check to say, is 2 is less than 5. And so we continue doing this loops until say j equals 5, right? So when j is reach 5, it will say, is 5 less than or equal to 5? No. So we are actually reaching this line, okay? So we are out of the loop, and so we are reaching the line 17 here. So we are out. So this is actually when j equals 5, we can print out to say, okay, it's actually say out of while loop, okay, and semicolon. Okay, so when j equals 5, it's actually will not go inside the while loop. It's actually going to the line 17, which is outside. Look here, which is outside the while loop, right outside the while loop, and will execute this statement. Okay, so if we want to run this again, you can see the while loop here. It's equivalent to the for loop. Okay, it's equivalent to the for loop. So if we run this again, and you can see they generate the same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's the for loop generated, and this is 1 through 5. Through 5 is what the while loop generated, and then after 5, well, at the 5, then they going out of the while loop. Okay, so this is the new tools you're using. You say, so every time if you want to do loop, you actually can choose the for loops or while loops. Okay, so in this case, they are quite similar. Now, there are some special cases. Okay, so we'll have some special cases. Now, what are those special cases? What if I want to say now j is rich equal to 5, right? So after this loop, it's actually equal to 5.
Okay, I'm getting your outline and switch to K.
Do you have a question? Someone want to raise the hand? Not really, huh? All right. So, oh, actually, this is wrong. I'm going out of the method, so which is not good. All right, so this is end of the method, so do not go. This is actually end of main method, so be careful. So I should add things right here. Okay, so this is outside the for loop here, right? So for the first one. Now, what about we have, so we know actually, we know right now, we, so special case, we know actually, so we know J is 5, okay? Because when J equals 5 and they go in here. So we know actually J is 5. So if this is the case, right? And, or if we want to just set J equals 10, okay? Anything like bigger than here, then if we want to copy this code, okay, and we want to loop this again. So this is like second while loop, right? So if we want to loop again, now this is actually, they loop how many times? 0 times, because when J equals 10, 10 is a lot less than 5. So therefore the whole thing is looping 0 times. It's not even go inside. They actually going right here in 926. Okay, so this is sometimes we do have the situation that the test case make it loop 0 times. All right, so if you run this again, and you can see that it's right after the while loop here, and right here it says out of second loop. They don't print anything here because it says loop 0 times. So now this is the one special case, right? And they loop 0 times. Now be careful, there is also a dangerous, so this is a very, I'll call dangerous, am I spelled right? Dangerous case. It's loop forever. So what about we doing this way? What about we say while, okay, and J is greater than, J is greater than 0, okay? And then we'll loop, we'll do J plus 1 again here. All right. And so, and then after, and then, oh, we need to change that. We'll say J plus plus, right? And so we'll do system.out.print 9. And we'll say out of third loop. Okay. So this is out of third loop. Now, this is very dangerous. That means this guy will loop forever. How so? So in here, we set J equals 10. And this is looping 0 times. So we didn't do anything here. And then we jump into this 9, right? We just print out. And so when we reach this 9, J equals 10. Is 10 greater than 0? Absolutely. So we go inside. And then we print 10 plus 1, which is 11. And then we increase 10 to 11. And we're going back here. Is 11 greater than 0? Absolutely. So we go inside again. So this will go forever, right? So if you happen to run, and then it will probably go forever, you have to hard stop it. So this is looping forever, quite dangerous situations. So try to avoid the situations here. Does that make sense? All right. Let me see. I'm gonna pause the I'm gonna pause the recording here. And okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing and I will pause. I'm gonna